Alright guys, so I was at the hobby shop the other day and I stumbled across this this little drone setup here, the RC Fun Battle Drone. 3 flight modes with plus in-flight battle system, 2 gigahertz flight controller, USB cable included, all in one modular case. I saw this and was like, wow. I mean, that's pretty cool. The prices are coming down. It's obviously toy grade, but for me, I have 2 small boys that are always wanting to play with my drones. I saw 2 drones. I saw being able to fly with my one son, or even possibly letting my younger son kind of mess with it, or kind of teaching him. So I grabbed it, and now that I've had it, I wanted to do a quick little overview on it. I have to say, right out of the box, everything kind of feels toy grade. It's plastic. It's cheap, but it's cheap. What costs it? It's overall, the design and everything's great. I mean, look at this. It reminds you of the the Nintendo Switch. The controllers just slide off just like that. Button, all these different buttons and stuff. And my understanding is this is less intimidating. I talked to my wife about it, my sister's kids about it, stuff like that. Instead of having like the 2 joysticks that any hobbyist is used to nowadays, I mean, that's much less intimidating. Open up the case here. This is basically all it's included. So you get 2 little proprietary style chargers. We'll show the batteries here in a minute. I came with some spare props. There was a little instruction manual. It's basically gone. A screwdriver, tiny screwdriver for putting the batteries into these controllers that are actually, the batteries are included, so that's great. And then here's the actual drone itself. They actually fold, and it needs to fold up to go into this case. I don't know why they wouldn't have just made it a millimeter higher, but maybe when they crash, maybe it folds a little bit, and that saves them in a crash. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's what it was. So yeah, just like that. It's folded down, folded up. I'll fold the other one up here. Yeah, overall they do feel really, really good. They, like I said, they're plastic. They remind you of they're hobby grade, or they're toy grade. I'm sorry, not hobby grade. So that, I'm just trying to keep that in mind. But they did something that Horizon isn't doing, or nobody else is doing. We're trying to develop this for RC airplanes now. Using a little sensor, and then boom, you can knock each other out, and so on and so forth. And that's what it does. You shoot each other down. It's got this little sensor up here, much like what your TV uses, from the remote, and it'll knock you down. So you're flying around, and so what you do is you click on this, and it'll actually shoot it down. And so I believe it's 3 times you get hit. First time it wiggles, second time it wiggles, the third time it actually spins and descends until it lands. As far as modes, it's got its auto takeoff mode, its auto landing mode. It supposedly has a headless mode. It has flight modes, a faster mode, so on and so forth. But overall, they fly really well. Let's see here. We'll show you the batteries. As you can tell, like I said, plastic, toy grade, kind of pulling apart there. That's not what you want it to do. You just kind of pull right here, and it pops out. So it's definitely a proprietary battery. It needs to have this case. Maybe. All right, decided to jump right back in and show you guys the kind of binding procedure. Obviously, they recommend turning the controller on first, just like everything. It sits here and kind of flashes. This one, if you look carefully, that's kind of a button right there on top. You press and hold it. Oh, press it. There we go. Flash, flash, flash. It should connect. There you go. Is it connected? Nope. It's in its binding mode because. Nope. Okay. So that's what they recommend do it, and turn this on, and then that I've come to understand these drones that you actually go like this. It's in its binding mode right now. Do that, this beeps, and it's actually bound right there. So what we do is bump up the throttle, and it actually spools up. Hold on. All right, conclusion here. Would I recommend it? Not really. I didn't have the best experience with mine. Maybe you would have better with yours. I had a binding issue. It just would not bind. I had to remove the batteries, put them back in, and then just could not get the one to bind. This one right here, actually. Could get it to bind to the other remote, but could not get it to bind to the one remote. So, had two remotes for one drone type of thing. Then I also had an issue with the battery connector, was actually pulling off the board in the one. And, is it a big deal? No, you can just glue it back in. But, I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. It's toy grade. It's not hobby grade. Getting people in, two drones for, what you call it, $25 roughly. Because it's roughly $50 for the set. Come with a case, decent battery life, two chargers, extra props, so on and so forth. Like, I would say keep your money, save it for something else. But at the same time, if you're looking for something to shoot each other down and stuff, it's really cool. The concept is there. If the product was just a little bit more polished, that I wasn't having an issue with the binding, if the little connector off the board wasn't pulling off, maybe slightly bigger battery, something like that, extend flight time. I'm not 100% sure what it would take for me, but it's almost there. I can't say that I wouldn't recommend it 100%, but I would probably push towards getting some hobby grade. Get a tiny whoop, get a what is it, the Inductrix, non FPV, if you're just trying to get into it. So take it for what it is, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you back soon.